Andy Carlson here for the Purple for the Win podcast, dedicated to the pain and pleasure that is the Minnesota Vikings and baby. 1500 ESPN has seen it fit to bring us into the sphere this year, so we'll be doing 3 shows a week, talking Vikings, have a car wash, a fantastic guest, talk at length about the backup tight end situation. And remember, everyone's middle name is Jerome. It's going to be a lot of fun, or terrible. It'll be one of the two. Get it on the 1500 and Podcast One app or on iTunes or at purpleftw.com. Let's go.
And whose team is this? Is this your team or is this your daddy's team?
Thanks for listening to the Dad Mode Podcast, common sense parenting in a politically correct world. Here's your host, Andy Carlson.
Welcome back to the Dad Mode Podcast, common sense parenting in a politically correct world. I'm your host, Andy Carlson, at Andy Carlson Show on the Twitter machine. I'm a father. I have no idea what I'm doing, but you and either they're Chemo Sabi, so let's try and learn something together today. Website is dadmodepod.com. Tweet at me, or the show page, rather, at dadmodepod on Twitter. Just use the hashtag dadmode. Joining me, as always, in Thunderdome, in the cave, in the cavern, Uncle Nick. Hey.
Hey, Andy, how's it going?
Good. At Uncle Nick on the Twitter machine. And how are you? Damn it, at Nickison.
You said that.
I want to look up who Uncle Nick is, but how's your week been?
I'm going to have a cold on.
Yeah.
Could be allergies, I don't know. Talking to some people. Yeah, I didn't realize, there's that whole fall, people can get sick type of thing.
Well, I feel like with the fall, you have a lot of vacillating temperatures. And so it can either be 90 and humid one day or it can be 70. And I feel like that's when people get sick, when you got the sudden temperature changes.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just, my last weekend wasn't too fun. It's not fun being sick as an adult. I remember it being much funner as a kid.
All right, so Uncle Nick, one word on Twitter, is held by a guy named Nicky Capuano, who joined in May 2010. His last tweet was November 28th, 2011. He has 2 tweets, 3 followers, and follows no one. Oh, 2 tweets total. All right, so the first one was from May 2010. Holy effing hangover. And then his next one was Drinkify Zoo Kid.
Wait, what was the last name?
Capuano.
Oh, dude, he's totally mafia. It's Nicky Capuano.
Well, he's probably dead, too. Probably drank himself to death.
Or he's
or maybe the Gambino crime family got him.
With cement shoes, I'm thinking swimming with cement shoes.
Cement shoes. Now you on the news. Also on the news is Amazon. If you want to support the show, if you like us, if you like our little back and forth banter, dadmodepod.com/Amazon. It'll redirect you right to the homepage. Bookmark it every time you buy something. Use that bookmark, and we'll get a couple of nickels in our pocket. Nick won't, but Andy will. It's okay. It's okay. I got to pay for all the hosting. Today is a little grab bag episode because, full disclosure, Nick usually comes over for dinner once a week. Tonight is a Monday, and I didn't have a topic in mind. Today was kind of a busy day, getting things all set up for, well, I guess I can announce it now since the cat is out of the bag. By the time this gets announced, the Purple for the Win podcast, my Viking show, dedicated to the pain and pleasure that is the Minnesota Vikings, moving to 1500 ESPN and Podcast One, so it's pretty exciting. And so tied up with that today, didn't think of a topic, but sitting around the table, we're just kind of BSing back and forth. And other than one sort of maybe too far comment I made, it was pretty delightful. It was a pretty delightful evening.
Yeah, no, it was a fine evening.
I like how the wife is just numb to it. It's like the Irish Catholic couple that has been married for so long that they're kind of used to each other's crap, and they're just like, whatever, now we die.
Well, it's like we had an episode a few episodes ago. We talked about our friendship and our long-term, like how used we are to each other, and like, with your wife involved, it's just a nice common three-way. Yeah. Wait. Whoa.
So we're just gonna open things up. Nick wrote down a list of topics that I have not seen, and we're just gonna talk about really random things. As I sip on a homemade clamato or chelada, because that's what I'm pretty sure. It's our friend Max and me Max might be listening. What's up, Max? Are the only two people, non-Mexicans in this country, that drink the Budweiser or Bud Light Cheladas.
I think a lot of people in South Dakota do the whole, what's it called, beer and tomato juice type of thing. So, I
Like
mean...
a bloody beer?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, red beer,
Yep.
I've heard it called. So, I mean... I don't know, you...
Because I think it's delightful.
Yeah,
Does the clam juice throw you off?
a little bit.
If it was just tomato juice, it would be fine.
I could do that. I could probably try some tomato.
Well, no, Nick, you're sick, so tomato soup. Grilled cheese? That'd be a good lunch.
That'd be a fantastic lunch.
And then put a beer in it. And then some clam juice, and then you're off to the races.
Why clam juice?
I don't know. It just gives it a little something, yeah.
So do you have like clam juice separate, or do you have like a mixture that's tomato juice / clam juice?
Well, this is just a light beer, a Coors Light in this case, and then a little bit of the Clamato juice.
So the Clamato juice, that's pre-clam.
It's a clam and tomato. It's a vegetable juice cocktail is what they call it. It's got the clam juice in it. Yeah. Yeah.
Do they kill real clams to make it?
Probably.
Oh.
But that's right. They're fine. Some of these random parenting topics. Nick, hit me with number one.
All right, we were talking about this during lunch a little bit. I figured this could be the longest thing we could talk about was trends that we as adults kind of did as kids, things we grew up with. What kind of things do we want to share or try to pass down to our kids?
Not Frozen.
Okay.
Because so the Muggsy and the wife were over at her cousins and their kids like Frozen, and it's just like, man, I just picture Muggsy sitting in front of that TV, let it go, and then I'm just like, shit, no, come on, why can't they watch a good movie like Tangled? I'm trying to think of hobbies that I had as a kid. Well, we're talking about Harry Potter. Like, I'd get on board with Harry Potter. Like, I never read the books, and I've only seen one of the 8 movies. But it's one of those things where people really get into it, like Comic-Con style. And the wife has all the books, so that'll be easy. So, hey, there you go. Free hobby. Just read the books. All the movies are on on ABC Family every single weekend. 0 cost. Nice.
That would be nice.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Fantasy football. I feel like, especially. All right, so we were talking about this earlier. I did a fantasy draft with the 1500, the fantasy party, and there are some guys who really get into it, like really hardcore. Like, I consider myself relatively into fantasy football. It is a bit of a time suck, but I'm not spending like 40 hours a week just grinding through stats. I don't have any premium subscriptions. Just like, man, I think this is going to be the year for Justin Hardy, man. And Matt Ryan likes him, and just be like, first of all, 90% of the general football population don't know who Justin Hardy is. And 99.99% of the human population doesn't know who Justin Hardy is. But I feel like if you have a nice little casual friends and family league, a little 8-teamer where every team is stacked, where every week her decision is going to be, well, do I start Devonta Freeman or do I start Jordy Nelson in my flex? We're just like, okay, yeah. Or as opposed to, I'm in a couple 16-team leagues now, and it's like, damn, all right, Adam Thielen, let's go. So I think that would be fun because it is a fun way to approach the sport and have interest in games you wouldn't have otherwise, and it's relatively harmless fun.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, we have a fantasy draft later after this recording.
Oh yeah, that league.
Which you're going to lose in, Nick.
I won once.
He did one.
Probably
Now
10
it's a
years ago.
3-keeper league, and you only kept one guy,
Yes.
Decker.
Yes? Question mark?
That's
I'm in 4 leagues. I
Yeah.
can't keep track of all everything I'm doing now.
Now, what's something that you would want to pass down, Nick? Like something that you think would translate well to kids?
Well, I mean, I'm very pop cultured, and growing up,
Oh yeah, movies and TV.
Yeah, so I mean that was my kind of big thing of bringing up the subject was I follow my brother, who I love to death, is trying to get my nieces into movies and shows he watched as a kid. AKA
Cheers.
Back to the Future.
MASH.
Back to the Future. It's like
Suicide is pain. Sorry, God. Donald Sutherland in the movie. Sorry, God.
Oh well, speaking of TV, DuckTales. My nieces grew up because it's available on Netflix. They have episodes, so they know the theme song. This is a show that I grew up on, so
Netflix is the best. It really
fantastic.
is. Yeah. Some Pinky and the Brain, Animaniacs, fantastic shows. The original Batman the Animated Series. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah. Mark Hamill was the Joker.
A fantastic Joker.
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles was always my thing, and I would kind of wanted to see my version of it before this 2015 version. I mean, there were so many versions. I did a podcast about Ninja Turtles. There's so many reincarnations, but I would want to stick to my original, the 88 series.
And now, there are some good sitcoms out now, like Modern Family, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I'll put Fresh Off the Boat out there. Hello, with the Asian family. But just thinking back, remember ABC's TGIF lineup?
Oh, yeah, Family Matters.
Family Matters.
Step by Step.
Step by Step. Boy Meets World. There was something else. There was like a couple shows rotating.
Something that kind of flexed.
Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Oh, yeah. That might have been...
He played on the Warriors back when nobody liked the Warriors. And then it was 2020 with Barbara Walters and Hugh Downs.
Barbara Walters.
It's amazing how you can remember that sort of stuff. Oh,
Sister. No, that might have been.
I think that was
UPN.
WB.
That might have been the UPN.
UPN, WB, CW. It changes names like so often. It's like a bank.
What was that other? Full House might have been part of that. Full House might have been part of it.
Maybe. I think that might have been good enough to stand alone on its own. Like Home Improvement, I feel like is always on Tuesday. Which was a great show, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll pass that on. Some of the newer shows, Parks and Rec. I mean, come on.
You have to warn your kid ahead of time, though. I tell everyone who tries to watch it, you got to get through, got to bite your teeth through the first 2 seasons, and then you need that backstory, and then 3 to 7, I think they get, or 8.
Mommy, that fat goofy guy turned into the biggest movie star in the world. Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
He's Star-Lord. What else you got? Oh, wait, no. Oh, movies. Some of the great movies from a kid. Well, Indiana Jones, like all those movies are fantastic. Let's see.
Star Wars, obviously, I think a lot of people will try to get the old stuff in. Well, here's the thing. Disney movies. Are you going to try to get your kid involved with all the older Disney stuff that we kind of grew up with?
Yeah, like the Aladdin, Lion King stuff, Robin Hood.
Would you go? I was thinking farther. Would you try to find Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty?
Yeah, that'd be fine. Although I feel like that is, I feel like some of the Disney princess movies are like, wow, we could not save ourselves. We had to wait for the handsome prince or the handsome woodsman. Yeah, he's gonna come out. So Muggs is gonna grow up with this whole thing of like, wow. As a woman, I could not save myself. I have to go find a lumberjack.
I mean, that's kind of why you have to have these upcoming movies. I mean, these newer movies, Brave and...
Oh, Mulan.
I was going to
say Asian.
I was going to say a movie that you don't want me to say. We'll go Tangled.
Yeah, Tangled's a good one. Well, no, Frozen is so stupid. All right, we go on because...
So should we go on a rant of Frozen?
Well, she stopped this whole winter thing because she just decided to. She just realized, like, oh yeah, I can stop this anytime, can't I? Yeah.
I kind of see Frozen as that lost X-Men movie because she's like a mutant who doesn't know how to control her powers. And just it took time for her to like take a step back. And she had the parents who kind of oppressed her and be like, you got to hide your powers. And you needed like a Charles Xavier to kind of be like, you're fine just the way you are.
Yeah, also, what sort of royalty doesn't have a private jet? What kind of royal couple are taking a GD boat? I mean, seriously. Who does that?
We're going to have to talk after the show. No.
All right, fine.
No chat.
What else you
got? Fears when entering the toddler years. Muggsy's kind of entering the T word. I guess she's moving around, walking like crazy. I blink and she's in another room already. What What are you getting ready for? What's
Well, I think my fears are not fears, but annoyances coming up will be the screaming, because that's what everyone talks about when the kid is 2 or 3 years old. Just not really forming words yet, but just all of a sudden just coming in the room and going, ah! That whole thing. And we see it with our. Well, she's technically like Crystal's like second cousin, but she's basically her niece. Lexi, she's already in that screaming sort of phase. You see with kids all over the place. If you go to Target or hell, the State Fair, you see these little 2 or 3 year old monsters that they're mobile and they can yell. They're like a velociraptor where they're like, "Arr, arr." and
that sounds like a seal.
Yeah, no, that's what they sound like though. And you don't have the alpha there, Chris Pratt, the fat guy from Parks and Rec, to just rein them all in. She's like, "Whoo, calm."
I'm the alpha.
Yeah, and see, other than that, the getting into cabinets. So we've put the child pull lock things in all the cabinets at her height, and I think that's good. But also, I'm a little worried that she's going to like sneak into things, or like we'll kind of absent-mindedly just leave something out, and then she'll get into it, and then we'll have to either call poison control, or if it's something that she wasn't supposed to eat, and that actually does scare me a little bit.
Okay, so because we're not there, we're not quite there yet. She's just a little over 1. Like what are we like? As a not parent, I mean, what is the toddler age? Are we talking like when she gets 2, or like is it now?
I think it's
is toddler considered the mobile?
I think it's relatively now. I think she would be considered toddler now, even though she's walking a little bit earlier than most kids do. So I think it isn't like a hard and set age. It's more like some attributes. So she toddling, toddler. She literally is toddling around. So I think she's in that stage. And then banging on all the pots and pans. Just be noise. Man, I kind of miss the days where she slept like 8 hours a day and then slept all night. She's like, I want to sleep all night and sleep all day. That was her. That was her, Gene Simmons.
That's funny. That's like what we want to do now as adults.
Not really. I think I'll get boring. Plus the bed sores. Yeah. What else you got?
All right. Next one. Talking about toddlers. Now that she's a little bit older, what are your future places you want to take her? What's kind of places that you didn't take little Muggsy when she was a baby? What more adventurous places are you willing to go to?
Well, Disney World is gonna be one of them. Just like trips in general, because we don't want to be that couple that flies with the baby on the plane. Mm-hmm. I think when she's a little bit older, like 4 or 5, she can have a snack. Maybe I'll slip her a Xanax, and no. Well, Crystal doesn't listen to St. Louis, so I'll just do what I want. And like she'll be fine flying. And when you're a little bit older, Disney World, like that's a big thing. And my whole thing is that if you do vacations, you should do them big. So get the nice room, get the fast passes, get like every bells and whistles on the vacation, because you're going to be doing this once every 8 years. This isn't going to be an every year thing. So once you go all out, absolutely do it, and make sure the kids are at an age where they can remember it and be like, man, I remember when Mom and Dad took us to Disney World. That was great. And now let's pull the plug and watch Dad die. Father, do you remember when you took us to Disney World? Yeah, that was last year. Don't pull the plug.
I'm only in my early 40s. What are you doing?
But I think they're at the age where they've absorbed like a lot of the Disney movies, and if she gets into Harry Potter, then we'll go to Universal Studios and Harry Potter World and that whole thing, and it would just be awesome. Plus, I mean, if you're a kid, just imagine like going to Disney World, something you're really into, or if you're really into football, then your dad takes you to a game, and then you got to meet Adrian Peterson, then he whooped your ass, and that whole thing.
Whoa.
That might be a little too far. But just in general, the State Fair, I don't think we're going to State Fair this year, mainly because it would suck to just follow a toddler around. And maybe in another year or two, when she's older, talking a little bit more, can be more excited about some of these random foods.
Yeah, I understand.
Also, do you know the State Fair is about livestock?
Yes, unfortunately I do. It's all...
Apparently,
you can smell it.
Apparently, that was what is originally founded to be, before it turned into Sodom and Gomorrah of fried things on a stick.
Definitely that Sodom part.
Well, reverse Sodom. Yeah. Let's see what else. Older things.
I've been with you guys when she was born and growing up. So you guys have done a lot of stuff. Parks, places. I don't think you guys did an MOA trip.
Haven't done that yet. I think she'd be fine with it. Like, she's a pretty good kid going out in public. Like, she doesn't throw tantrums. She doesn't, get all shitty when she's tired, like some kids do. So we're pretty lucky there. And then, like, you've taken her to restaurants before. I know that some couples with young babies, like, they never see the inside of a restaurant for like 5 years, but that hasn't been our experience. But yeah, maybe we'll take her to the mall. But I just dislike the mall because it's 4 malls stacked on top of each other. It's like, oh man, this is so fantastic. We have 3 American Eagles? No way! Why do you need 3?
Well, they needed a couple of Victoria's Secrets because I keep getting kicked out of them.
That's fine. Yeah, Nick is banned from Victoria's Secret level 2.
Only for a few more months.
Or, then when she's a little bit older, we'll take her to Knott's Camp Snoopy or whatever the hell it's named now.
Oh, God, it's not called that anymore.
Actually, it doesn't have a name, does it?
The Nickelodeon Universe, I think it might be called.
That's so dumb.
Well, by the time
actually, wait, I think that is right, because I remember seeing on Instagram people got slimed. That's something that they've been trying to keep alive. Slime. Because that was big when we were kids.
Yeah, Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
You can't do that on television.
You can do that on YouTube, though. Yeah. All right, what else you got?
Playing with this device, whatever you have here.
It's an Allen wrench, Nick.
It's multi.
Nick, is a set of Allen wrenches.
All combined as one. No, I'm cheap. I buy them all individual sized. I have a Ziploc bag. Okay. I was just kind of making an observation when Muggsy went around. How do you guys get things done with a toddler running around?
Well, it's pretty easy. You kind of have to pen her in, like that guy down in Texas when they had floods down there, and then the guy bought the inflatable like barrier thing, which was pretty genius. You fill that full of water, and then contours to like all the various shapes of the the ground around. And he actually saved his house from flooding by spending $10,000 and bringing in this whole barrier thing. It's pretty genius. Basically, I want to get that, but for indoors and for Muggsy. Because when you have a kid, you don't have a living room anymore. You basically have to turn that into Thunderdome. So I think eventually we're going to just set that up where that's just her room. We're going to plug in, we're going to plug all the electrical outlets, make sure every cord is like stapled to the wall, and just let her like bounce around in there like some sort of insane asylum. Or she naps, which is fantastic. She takes about 3-hour naps now.
Oh, that's nice.
And so instead of 2 like short naps throughout the day, it's like 1 3-hour nap, which is pretty good prime time to get stuff done. And I remember like young parents, like the big advice is like, well, when your baby sleeps, you should take a little nappy poo so you get off. No. That's when you get your shit done. That's when you get laundry. That's when you answer emails. That's when you make phone calls. That's when you do everything. There is no such thing as sleep. Although she sleeps through the night now, so that's pretty nice too.
Right, because I feel like when I see you guys, it's kind of a one man does one thing while watching the kid versus another. It's almost like a tag team duo ship. I mean, I fear for single parents that have to do it on their own.
Yeah, especially if they have to work 9 to 5, 10 to 6, 2 jobs to survive. Or do you need a baller so you can shop and tear the mall up, brag to your friends what I bought you? Other than the Jay-Z interlude, yeah, I think the 2 parents on 1 kid, it's really easy to trade off. And then if you got 2 kids, you got the man-to-man defense. 3 plus kids, then you have to go to zone. I feel like it's kind of easier than people let on because a lot of times the kids will entertain themselves. If the kids will play with each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think with my brother and sister-in-law who have 3 kids now, because there's a newest one now, my nephew Gabriel. The oldest ones who are old enough to walk and talk and entertain themselves, I feel like they can go and do the thing together. I mean, they can play house or whatever with each other, But
wait, so a patient comes in and he crazily diagnoses him while Omar Epps just chimes in. Was it Omar Epps?
Yeah, it was Omar.
Oh, no. Who's the hot chick? Olivia Wilde?
Olivia Wilde was on the show.
Oh, Cal Penn?
Was on the show.
I've never actually seen a full episode of House, but I know of it.
Oh, I love that show.
Yeah.
I don't know, but the problem with having those kids, though, I mean, like my two nieces, they, do they get along all the time, man? I don't know,
But even if they're fighting, they're not bothering you. Because I feel like kids should be allowed to fight. Not like Thunderdome, like bare knuckle style, but like just fighting in general. Because conflict resolution is something that is not a really great skill amongst these coddle generation that were raised by helicopter parents.
But they need that ref, though. That kind of.
Ref it's like a WWE ref. What does he really do?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, pretty good stuff, Nick. What is coming up from you? What's going on in the Nick and Son podcast?
This week I was gonna talk about the MTV Music Video Awards. Just came out. Occurred on Sunday. I'm gonna try to. I didn't watch it at all, but I'm gonna try to look up facts on that. Apparently, it was a big deal. Return of Britney Spears. But today it's heartbreaking news. I just found Gene Wilder just passed away, so I kind of want to talk a little bit about one of my most favorite actors of all time.
Is it bad that I kind of thought that Gene Wilder was already dead?
Yes, that is totally bad.
Why? How long has Richard Pryor been dead?
Who? Okay. I think he's been dead since the 90s.
All right, so they were a dynamic duo. What is your favorite Gene Wilder movie?
The Producers.
What's that about?
I'm a big Mel Brooks fan.
Is that the one where Nathan Lane and Ferris Bueller tried to get a Hitler play done?
Yes, that was the original idea of trying to make a really crappy musical with like the worst director, worst actor.
But it was a hit.
But it was like a hit, and the way and I've been meaning to research this in the beginning about will this actually work? Do you raise money for a play? And like you say that it costs X amount of dollars, and then can you run with it? I mean that was the original plan. Was like, oh, the musical didn't make any money, so they just take the money and run. But because it does make money, they have to pay back all the backers who invested into it or something. And yeah, it was really. I want to know how realistic that was.
Well, I know that movie theaters, or movie production places, take out insurance, like on some of these big budget movies. So if it tanks, they get an insurance payout. Imagine if they did that. Now, see, that would be like an updated version of it.
Oh, we should write that. We should write that script.
It could also be Hitler in Spring. There you go. See, my favorite Gene Wilder movie is probably the Willy Wonka GIF. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Oh, the meme where he's like, the question is about like, oh, so you think this is how it works? Well, then let's explain how this is or something.
Oh, condescending Wonka?
Yeah, condescending Wonka.
I
love that.
Yeah. If you want to know us, you should. And tell a friend. Spread the word about the Dad Mode podcast every single week. Nick and I, or occasional other guests, talk about parenting from all various different angles. Show's available on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter at DadModePod. Me at Andy Carlson Show, or Nick at Nickason. Not Uncle Nick.
Thank you.
Although, you should follow Uncle Nick, too, because he might be dead. The website is dadmodepod.com. But until next time, be a man, be a father, go Dad Mode, and we'll check you later. Don't pull the plug, Muggsy.
Think the episode you just heard is worth $1? Well, send it our way. Visit dadmodepod.com/support to find out how. Be a man, be a father. Go Dad Mode. The music is created and produced by Deeb. To hear more of his tracks, visit soundcloud.com/Deeb.
Hey everyone, it's me, Nickason, aka Uncle Nick, co-host of the Dad Mode podcast. Before we begin the show, I thought I'd let you guys know about a side project I'm working on called the Nickason podcast. That's right, I am hosting my own podcast where I talk about the latest news in the entertainment world. From movies, television, music, anything pop culture, I talk about it on my show. So please check me out, the Nickason podcast. We air new episodes every Wednesday. Now, on with the show.